Welcome to Natural Born Talents. Today's subject will generally be about how energy works within the matrix, and particularly we'll focus a little bit on healing energy such as Reiki, faith healing, psychic healing, and the like. Now, I've had a lot of experience with all of these, including Kiko in Japanese, within the martial arts, as well as some healers that I've worked with. And some work and some don't. And I realized later, after I was pulled out of the matrix looking in, the reasons why some do and some don't. Now, I have to apologize for the delay on this video. I wanted to get it out as soon as some questions came up about this issue, but I got attacked so hard by the matrix, I had to shut down for a while. Again, my apologies. I'm much better now. So let's go through this. Now, energy is exchanged between people all the time at very low levels. And this is why in an earlier video I pointed out the 7 deadly sins are not what you do in action as much as the energy that is exchanged with those actions. For example, if you lust after somebody, you are bringing in a very low level of sexual energy towards another human being. You can corrupt yourself and another person with that energy. This is true for gluttony, it's true for envy, it's true for rage, it's true for all of them. So when you get up in the morning and if you're fighting somebody, what you're really doing is exchanging low level of energy. That tends to be on the negative side. Now, some of those energies can be used for good purposes, such as discipline, but more often than not, if you overdo this, you're going to be pumping in bad energy into another individual. This is why you see many children who have abusive parents turn out to be very corrupt and destructive. They got overloaded by negative energy and didn't get enough love. And of course, on the other hand, from the negative energy, you have the positive energy. Giving a hug, a pat on the back, a kiss on the cheek. Any of these loving actions will, of course, exchange at low levels healing energy. This is why I said in previous videos it's always a good idea to practice loving gestures, because this will help the positive energy flow from one individual to another. Now, having said that, psychic healing, faith healing, Reiki, Kiko, and all of these other higher healing energies are practiced mostly by angels, but also Buddhist monks, ancestors, and the like. And there are all kinds of ways to heal. It can be sexual, it can be loving, it can be just channeling pure energy from a psychic level to another individual and heal them. However, within the matrix, there's a lot of problems that come in with this type of healing. The energy is very high and very pure. When you do this, people around the person you're trying to heal will get jealous and try to pull that energy off. So a place like a prison, for example, if you go into a prison and you're healing somebody within the prison, what you're going to be doing is channeling an enormous amount of energy to an individual, which will make them feel better and actually, quite possibly, heal some ailment that they have, physical or otherwise, within their psyche. But the demons that they're dealing with, and the people around them, and the place itself, which is full of lots of negative energy, will also feed off of that energy and actually can turn it in on your patient, which could cause more harm than good. Now, I don't want to discourage any healer from trying anything, because I'm sure if you go to one of these places to try to heal somebody, you're going to learn this yourselves, and that's very important. However, having said that, you probably want to have your own clinic if possible. And of course, a place like a prison, that's not very good because you can't have your own clinic within a prison. The energies within a prison or a school or other establishments tend to be very low. This is why it is much better to have your own clinic in a place such as the countryside with nature and have people come out and visit you there. But also, what is more important than just healing energy, because they'll just feed off of it, they'll may even get addicted to it, is to try to get them to counsel what the problem within their psyche is. Because if they fix that, what you'll end up doing is fixing themselves or allowing them to heal themselves. And this is more important. A lot of people who are in prison, for example, have committed some sort of crime, or the crime was displaced onto them and they were innocent. But either way, there's something in their psyche that led them to that place. And all the pure energy in the world will not help them unless they can deal with the demons that they set out to face themselves. So any healer, I do recommend some sort of counseling techniques along with channeling energy that is either from faith healing, Reiki, or some of these other practices. These are very important practices because they do lift people up enough so they can see the demons that they're fighting. I have noticed, however, that this kind of healing does not work on baby souls. It is pointless. They don't believe in it, they don't feel it, they block it, they'll attack you with it, because these people live in another reality, in denial, and they don't believe in anything like UFOs or magic or any of these other energies until it's right in their face, even though lately we're beginning to see UFOs pretty much everywhere now. In any case, the other problem I've noticed is that the angels won't allow you to bring too much energy within the world for the reasons I've described. They will block you too, and this is unfortunate. In my case, I tried to get around this, and I gave up those practices to do play therapy, because I realized that if I go and work with children and teach them to be playful, happy, loving, learned, etc., they can heal themselves much more easily than if I was some abusive teacher, for example, or some abusive parent. So this technique seems to be very well, but it also has attracted some of the egotists, some of the demons, and some of the other beings to attack me, and that is what actually happened to me over the winter vacation. I got hit very hard. However, it did expose to me the issue, and it makes it easier for me to make adjustments. And again, I don't want to discourage anybody who's a healer or non-healer to exchange positive energy. That's very foolish. But be aware of these issues. Be aware that if you are giving energy of any kind to a negative being, you're going to get hit with it. And till that negative being learns not to be negative. And of course, I've said as many times, the baby souls can't move on from that. They refuse to. So you can't help them. So be wise with who you heal. Be very careful. Now again, there are a lot of people in this world who are suffering for the sake of suffering and nothing else. And healing them is key. If you can get them to have a little bit more joy in life, a little bit more health in life, it makes all the difference in the world. It makes life worth living. It makes life worth learning how to be a healer or just a good person. Because all of you know, the Matrix has really gone to the dark side. And a lot of people are going to come out as broken souls. And what a broken soul is those who are mentally handicapped to the point where they cannot even communicate with another human being. That is the carnage of the game of ego. What you're seeing with these souls are the ones that used ego too much. And the angels snapped them and said, okay, now we're going to try to heal you over thousands of lives. And once you get to that point, it's very hard to undo. Most of the time, it's impossible. I've worked with some of these people many times in various schools. I synchronized with and tried to heal them. Their soul has a hole in it. Their psyche has been snapped. And to mend that really is very, very hard. And of course, I don't have that kind of power. But once that individual realizes their mistake, their soul recognizes evil and no longer wants to play that game, then they can be mended. But that likely will take many, many lives. Now, of course, there are some angels who can bring in psychic energy to come down and heal them rather quickly. And sometimes I believe this is done. I've seen faith healers come down there. The angel comes behind the faith healer and channels enormous amount of pure energy and will heal somebody who's been really in a lot of pain but had learned their lesson. Having said that, psychic energy can be used in negative ways as well, to snap a soul, for example, like I just explained. I've seen it used in martial arts to push people down, to put them to sleep. I've practiced that several times. Just by touching people who are low on energy, I have in the past put them to sleep. And of course woken them up gently and said, how was that? And they said, that was a fascinating experience. I've played with those energies, as well as other energies, including sexual energies in the Tantra yogas and many of these other things, which are very, very high energies and very powerful. Now, I don't practice those anymore because of the problem I have described. People in this world at this time are just too self-centered, too egotistical, too much dealing with the demons and the crap that's going on in the Matrix at this time. As soon as I extend too much energy to any individual, I get 10 times back in a negative form that just makes me in a zombie state. So I would suggest to anyone out there is that while you do this, watch carefully for the reaction. It may take several days or even weeks for something to come back, but it does happen. This really does trigger a lot of people to steal other people's energy if you give out too much. So if you feel that your struggle is a little bit too hard, or you feel that someone that you love or want to heal struggle is too hard, I do recommend practicing some of these techniques. Reiki, faith healing, Kiko, Okyu, Hari, any of these, all of these are very, very wonderful things to practice. There are many others, aromatherapy, sexual massage, regular massage, shiatsu, seitai, and many, many, many others. The list goes on. I've tried hundreds of these. I love many of them, but my favorite happens to be play therapy. I find that to be very, very effective, both with adults and children. This allows people to enjoy life, to heal them, and when something negative comes along, they can face their demons with a little bit more spirit than they can with these other healing techniques at this time. But I suspect when the transition gets closer, these healing techniques are going to be more and more useful for other people who had suffered very much within the Matrix, who got battered, broken, damaged in some way or another, and need to be healed. And a lot of healers are probably will be called down to help these people move into the transition when the baby souls are finally divided from the rest of humanity and tossed back into the inferno where they come from. In any case, if you have any questions on specific techniques, please ask them within the comments section below. I'll be happy to answer. I have experienced most of the main healing techniques. Having said that, energy within the Matrix can be transformed and changed into anything. And this is key. Negative energy can be transformed into positive energy and vice versa. There is no limit within the universe. The Matrix is designed to get individuals to struggle against their demons, their karma, their things they need to overcome. The healer soul's best tactic in healing people is to get them to see what they have to face and heal them along the way until they can do it themselves. This requires a combination of channeling energy as well as counseling. And of course, you don't need to be a healer to practice these things. But be forewarned, over and over, the baby souls cannot be healed. They will attack you because they are very jealous of you. They also want to keep the illusion that these things are not real. They are fake. They are all illusions or magic tricks. They are not. They are very real, very powerful energies. These people need to have this denial in order to control the Matrix. They don't want people stepping out of their limited psyche. And they're impossible to convince otherwise. I've tried. They don't listen. So again, I recommend that you practice these techniques with loved ones, with people who are close to you, people who trust you, and so on. If you do get customers outside of your world, you might want to look into their psyche first before you try to heal them. This is often why you'll see a video of somebody doing something miraculous, but quickly gets cut down by some egotist somewhere down the line, some skeptic. And sometimes I've seen this happen, and you have to be very careful. A person who was once a healer lost their power and started to fake it. And this is a very stupid thing to do. So if this happens to you, the message really isn't that you lost your power. It's that it can no longer service its purpose because you're healing the wrong people. And you need to change into some other healing technique, or you have to deal with different people more quietly. Most of these people who had this amazing power started to overuse it, started to use ego to get on TV to show that they were someone special. And as soon as you do that, the Matrix will turn around and shut you down. The angels will shut you down because of your ego, because you're not God. The Matrix will shut you down because they want the medical society to be number one, not you. So again, I recommend doing this privately, quietly. Probably getting the word of mouth kind of advertisement would be a good strategy. Well, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments section below, and thanks again for listening. I hope to see you in the next video.